Session at 10 minutes past 5. We will move to agenda item number 10, discussion and action on city manager. Gary, you did sign up to speak on agenda item number 10. If you'll step up.
Since he's speaking, doesn't it need to be on the YouTube thing?
No, she's got the recording there.
Yep.
It's not there.
That's just a courtesy. Yep, and she's gone. You're good.
My name is Gary Chernoff. Same guy that was here earlier. My first question is, since y'all had an interview on it, can I ask how many contenders you currently have for the city manager's position?
Any contenders?
How many candidates do you have for the city manager's position currently?
So we have one set up for next week.
Okay, so you're still interviewing
Correct.
individuals?
Yes.
So, are you anticipating selecting a city manager today?
No, because we have another interview set up.
Okay.
Yes.
I just, do I have a time limit? I'm not trying, I'm not.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
I just got a couple of comments that I just want to get in here, and I don't want to run over my time.
You're good, you're good.
Let me cut off. I know y'all have been struggling with this, and I'm sure there's probably a shortage of viable candidates in general. People, small town like Weimar is going to be an entry-level place for most people entering government administration. So I'm sure, and there are a lot of other things, you know, that an entry-level position, or somebody who is getting close to retirement and wants an uneventful remainder of their career. You're not going to find probably a lot of candidates that have have really deep experience and expect to be working another 20 years or something that are going to come and apply for a job like this. But it seems that the city council and that y'all have in general been struggling with this, and not just this time around, but the past few selections y'all have had for city manager, y'all have had a rough time with the result, just to be diplomatic. And so, have y'all ever considered using an outside source, a firm that actually can interview, vet, and qualify candidates for this job, that specializes in municipal administration, people that can provide you candidates for the job that are pre-qualified, and that you'll have an assurance from this company that these people meet all your requirements, they understand the community, they understand the salary situation and all that, and they are not just interested in the job, but they're actually eager to take the job.
Answer that question, yes.
Y'all have.
Council has discussed that and
But y'all have not, y'all
have
tried
not,
it.
no, not yet.
Okay. I really think this would be something that would be prudent for the city council to explore.
Okay.
Even at this point, even though y'all are, I mean, how long has this been, search has been going on?
We're going to 6 months.
Okay. Even at this point, I mean, we've gone this far, why hurry now, to a certain extent, okay? Also, I think something else that you really should consider is to look outside the box. I don't think necessarily you have to have somebody that is in government administration. I know to a certain extent it may be helpful if they're familiar with all the ins and outs, where to go, the processes, the procedures, the things that are available to municipalities. You know, they would have a kind of a leg up in that respect. also, they are also already in a mode of operation. If they've had any lengthy experience, they're gonna have a set way of operating. And so you're kind of buying into not just the individual, but you're also buying into their method of operation, if you follow what I'm saying. And I think that can be, especially for a small community, I think that can be a bad thing. Because I think there has to be a lot of flexibility for a city manager in a small community. He wears a lot of hats. He's closer to his department heads than probably in a larger operation. He has, he or she shouldn't qualify by just saying he, but anyway, the party that's selected for the job needs to be somebody that is open-minded and is more willing to take on the challenges rather than necessarily have the traditional background that's required for the job. Just about anything can be accomplished by somebody that's eager and dedicated, as opposed to somebody who has qualifications and no motivation. And I think there is a lot to be said for looking for local people too. And some of the things that, if you have somebody that's tied to the community, in some respect, either from the community or living in the community or moving back to the community or his family here, all those kind of things provide an incentive for the individual to excel at the job at hand. And I think those kind of things are important to consider. I actually, if I was interviewing somebody, that would be near the top of my list. You know, what did you, enthusiasm for the job and dedication are the two things that get things done. And I've had a lot of employees over the years. I've got a handful of people that I would hire right back to back today, and I got a much bigger handful that I would say, no thank you, I've had enough. But it's some of the most unlikely candidates have been superior at the job just because they really wanted to do it. And so I'm just asking City Council to consider using either an outside source particularly to vet these individuals. So we, you know, I know it's embarrassing for y'all. It's embarrassing for the community when we end up with somebody who is arrested on their first day to work, or anything else, or just doesn't show up for work, or any of these other things. This is got to be an embarrassing situation for everybody involved, and it makes it harder for you to do your job to hire the next person to fill the spot. So I really think y'all should look at how y'all are going about this and really consider getting some outside help on this to help y'all through the decision-making process, or at least to do some elimination of crime. But set some parameters for what you're looking for. You know, I think wanting to use somebody that has local ties. Again, not necessarily that they are in city management, but that they have the desire to do it, that have the skill set to do the job. That doesn't mean they have to be, you know, a city manager or assistant city manager or somebody like that now, but somebody that has the skill set to organize, to lead, and to get things done. Cool. It's an administration job, not a hands-on, fix the plumbing, patch the pothole kind of job. There are people and departments for that. They have to be a leader of those departments. And so that's kind of what, I'm just trying to, you know, and maybe this is all ground you've covered, I don't know, but, I think it would be very prudent for our city council and mayor to think about this in your process. And it's already been 6 months. Don't rush into it now. I know Dolores would love to give it up, probably get back to her regular job, but she's doing a bang-up job as the interim city manager. And I apologize if I'm dumping an extra load on you by saying this, but I just think that it would be very smart for the city.
Okay.
And I'd like to know that y'all might consider what I'm saying and explore those opportunities. And the one of the things too that we need to get to is that, remember y'all are hiring these people for the entire community. I know y'all have to deal with it, but put personal things aside. It's not about who you like or who you dislike personally. It's about who can do the job. You have to get along with them, but it's about who is capable of doing the job. And so, after all, y'all work for us.
Absolutely.
Y'all work for us. And the job can be terminated at the next election. And we'd really like to see something move forward, but something that is not going to have to be repeated again next year.
I think that's the goal of everybody around the table.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
I also think that's probably why they haven't rushed into is
yeah,
they're trying to find somebody who's going to be here for some tenure.
yeah. And so that's kind of what I wanted to say.
Okay.
And you can blow it off if you want to leave, but
They're all listening. I'm telling you.
I just think that it's important for you all to consider that sometimes it's not about the person working in the job previously. It's about the willingness and the eagerness to do the job and to do the job well.
Gotcha.
Dedication and enthusiasm will move mountains. And you need to find somebody who's looking to the future of the community, who wants to be here, not wants the job, who wants to be in Weimar and grow with the community. We're fixing to get swallowed up by Houston, Austin, San Antonio triangle. And if we don't do something about it, we can either ride the wave or we can get sucked under.
Yes, sir.
And we need somebody that has leadership skills to fill the city manager's job. And so
You good?
that's
Okay.
what I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you.
And so I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Thank you, Gary.
Thank
Council,
you.
anything
Thank you.
for Mr. Turnock? Gary, hold up. You have a question? Council, any comments?
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Because this is, you can speak with them and they can speak back. Anyone?
Is he the only?
I'm not gonna ask if any, because nobody else has signed up, but I'm gonna ask if anybody else wants. Anybody else want to speak? Everybody good? Okay.
After much thought about this subject, we did have a very valuable interview, and I wish that YouTube was on, because I say this many times, I'm elected and I don't care. Several people around here don't like my decisions. I don't make it for y'all, I make it for everybody. And I'm gonna make a motion that we hire Reed Jones, pending a background check and a contract. He's a 20, if not 30-year decision. He's a leader, and his resume speaks volume, and I stand behind that.
I have a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. second? Have a motion and a second. It's open for additional discussion.
Stephen, you know, we're not even done with interviews, so.
Well, and I also think, he doesn't live in Weimar. I mean, I don't know if he was
Why
planning to move
don't
to
you
Weimar.
ask him, he's right
Are
there.
you planning to move to Weimar?
Yes, ma'am, the
Okay.
job offered me, yes.
I really think I'd like to go through the rest of the interviews, and I'm not saying you're not the candidate yet, but we have other people we'd like to interview, and I think we need to finish that.
May I make a comment?
Oh, it's just discussion, yes.
Yeah,
Still,
I mean,
discussion is open, yes.
Can I just make?
Yeah, you're good, yeah.
In actuality, most of my commentary had Reed or someone like him as the model.
Okay.
And I really don't think, I'm not trying to get political here, but I really don't think you can go wrong with Reed Jones. And one thing City Council needs to consider in considering Reed Jones, you're not hiring his dad, you're hiring Reed Jones. And he is his own man, and he stands in his own shoes. So don't confuse the two. And any prejudices that may be existing with our former city manager should be set aside. This is not a decision about his future. This is a decision about Reed's future and the future of Weimar. So just think on that.
Okay. Anyone else? It's still open for
I think
discussion.
it's a solid decision.
I think it's premature though, Stephen, we're not even.
The one that we're gonna be interviewing, we don't know who can vote on him or what, and how that'd even play out if that was chosen.
We ain't got there yet.
I understand that, but considering there's no ties to anything on Reed, there's no. If the guy can lead military and have a, what is it called, special clearance?
Yeah, it's obviously your clearance, yes.
If the military trusts him that much and he leads people, guys, what are we doing? Premature. I think we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs for nothing. We've got a great asset. As an individual texted me today, why haven't we chose Reed Jones? He's an asset. He could be such a viable asset to Weimar.
You want the young people to hang around Weimar. I mean, this is one way of showing it by hiring somebody local. Bring them in. Show the community that's what you're out for. We want to keep the young ones.
Y'all are gonna keep looking at these applications, and all they are is a piece of paper and one smile, and you're gonna get their best day out of them when they interview. And you don't know what you're getting the rest of the time.
Hey, I'm all for local.
You know-
I've said that many times, but we're not done interviewing, so
haven't
how can we
gotten-
make a decision if
yeah.
we're not done interviewing? I'm 100% for local.
Okay. So you've been interviewing for 6 months, but you're not through with interviews.
No. We still have one, we haven't cut the
We had a fresh one
applications off.
come up.
We've got, there were 7 last week.
Yeah,
So-
7.
So no, we,
I mean, nobody really cared on the 7 that we talked about.
No. And where were they from? All way out of town?
Yeah.
No experience? Maybe got laid off or told to leave?
They said you.
Maybe, you know, what? The hiring somebody like Reed, he's moving up into a position, wanting more. You're taking, somebody's leaving a position because they couldn't handle what they've had. 9 times out of 10.
Well, we hadn't decided to interview.
Yeah, we're
So-
not,
so
I'm
what's
not
the
saying
point?
Reed's not the choice, we're just not done interviewing.
yeah.
So,
Well, it is a discussion item, so I have my right to, an action item, so I have my right for a discussion, I have my right for an action, that's my action too.
You good?
I wish it was on YouTube so people could see and hear that, because a lot of people are questioning.
Any more discussion? I'm not, anybody else in the audience, comments? Still
We
open
still have to
agenda?
take a vote, we have a.
Yes, yep. Discussion means council, discussion means audience. Yep, that's why I'm asking, because I did ask you guys and I got a no, so I'm just making sure.
Can I
Audience.
just make one brief comment?
You can, it's good, it's still an open
Just,
discussion.
To think about what I said in general. And just give it some thought and see how it applies to each of you. And just think about it. So, ultimately, y'all are making a decision, but y'all are making the decision for all of us, so.
Okay, I'll go to a vote. Now, does council want me to just do a general, all in favor, say aye, or you want me to go around the table?
Go around the table.
Council, place 1,
No.
2,
Yes.
3.
Yes.
No.
Okay, motion fails, okay? And that closes that item. Agenda item, do you want to do any announcements other than the party tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, appreciation, yeah.
Yes. Agenda
6
item
o'clock,
number 11,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn at 5:30. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, folks.
Thank you. I'll see y'all
Tomorrow.
party.
Okay.
I like party better.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah. There you go.
Chickens didn't get fed again. They're so, on them, they get fed at noon sometimes and in the morning, they don't know.
You don't know which one.
They don't know.
They're all mixed up.
Yeah, they are.
He wants to say something.
What did he want to say?
I don't know, he stared at me.
He scares me.
Pardon?
He scares me.
He stared me down. Ordinance. Public hearing.
Yeah,
You
that's,
just need me to sign this.
yes.
Saw it coming.
Did you?
Mhm.
That's why he was asking about to have it on video. I didn't know that.
And they kept using the term